Hello, everyone again. It's Peter again with Dish Generator. Just showing off you another day of brainstorming dishes with Dish Generator. Of course, it's a random component generator to compile dishes and dish ideas that you can work with in your own restaurant or cooking at home or whatever. I created this to kind of speed up the brainstorming process and kind of have a device that kicks me back ideas on what dishes I could make based on an old French formula of picking a protein, starch, vegetable, sauce, and we added the accent point just for fun to create dishes. The formula kind of says that if you do that, you'll come up with a pretty solid dish. And if you've seen my last videos, I came up with 17 and 18 dishes, both in like 35 minutes, pretty quickly. Now this is kind of again, it's a trial. I mean, this is a brand new thing. I've never done this before, but I've had some good successes and come out with some really awesome dishes. I haven't executed and made any of them yet, but I will be soon here as I go back to cook for my clients in my personal chefing pursuits. I know that all these dishes won't be good. Most of the dishes that it puts out probably aren't going to be good. Pretty weird. But I think as an exercise of creativity and to consider different options that you wouldn't have otherwise calculated in your own head, or even just utilizing the Flavor Bible, which I do recommend. I have a link on my page here on the resources that describes how I like to use the Flavor Bible, and that had been my tome of creativity, or at least a reference for creativity when I create dishes. But I created a new thing. It's something different. It generates things at random without any biases of previous flavor memories or anything. It's just got a great database of different ingredients from around the world, different sauces from different cultures that you can kind of bind together in your own way, shape, or form to create a dish. And you don't have to utilize every single component in here. You also kind of flip and mix and match how many components you want it to spit out to you, so you have different things to work with. So let's go ahead and get started. Why not? So we've got our first dish here. It's big eye tuna with faro verde, zucchini, gremolata, and sorrel. That on its own is a solid dish. I think pretty classically Italian. You may as well stick it to that. So we could do even just a cured tuna. We could even take that and glaze it in balsamic or something. Served with faro verde, which is a really nice grain. Zucchini. Gremolata is a sauce. Let's go ahead and look it up. I need to make a glossary of these ingredients. My only issue with that is I don't want to have a glossary that's on a separate page. I like to be able to sit here and keep working with it. So I might add in too much in the programming unless I get a lot of that really want this. But I might make a glossary where you can just straight from here press Control F or Function F and be able to search for the ingredient down below in a glossary that just populates below. But gremolata is a chopped herb condiment, classic made with lemon zest, garlic, and parsley, and anchovy. I didn't realize anchovy was a classic ingredient there. Cool. Yeah, a sorrel gremolata, so you can incorporate some sorrel into that mix with the parsley, and you end up with something that's a little more citrusy and tart. Yeah, for me, that's a brilliant dish. Of course, you got that really great bright pink. I mean, some of the dishes I come up with are kind of based around varying colors too. It's also a good nutrition tip that if the more colors that you have in your dish means obviously usually you have more vegetables and different variety of ingredients, meaning you get a different variety of nutrients. So I always like to make sure all my dishes have a great variety of color, and green is always a great appetizing thing to go for. So we got a beautiful dish here with red. Get some black in there. We can even do a balsamic glaze. We can even sauce extra with balsamic on the plate. So balsamic on balsamic, or you can finish with saba, which is a great. I love it. It's a great must reduction commercially available, delicious. Add some complexity to your dishes as a simple sauce to add. Sea bream with steel grind oats, okra, creme fraiche, and hickory smoke. This isn't a bad way to go. Interesting for sure. You could always kind of go southern with it. I mean, that's kind of where it threw me with the steel grind oats and the okra. So you could do do a seared sea bream. That's the way I love. I like to do sea bream. Get a really nice crispy skin on it. Steel grind oat risotto with some ham. I love pickled okra. Free smoke as an accent. That's interesting. I mean, we can even throw in a smoked creme fraiche. Boom, sweet, lots of fun. Got the good dish. I'd maybe even garnish it with okra leaves, okra flowers. That is. Yeah, it'd be beautiful. Big eye tuna, lima beans, collard greens, red pepper puree, and Tabasco pepper. Again, this is a pretty solid winter dish. I would get to sear the big eye tuna or grill the big eye tuna. I toss in bene seeds or something, just to get some nuttiness and a little bit extra crunch. Because you don't have just a plain big eye tuna, bene seeds and mustard. Yeah, I would dust it in bene seeds and mustard. Braised lima beans with collard greens. Red pepper puree. Yeah, totally. Red pepper Tabasco puree, nice and spicy. Sweet, you got another dish there. I mean, this is another southern inspired one. I didn't anticipate for these to pop out. Pretty southern, but my philosophy in cooking is that, you know, since we've got the internet, you can study chefs from all different regions, and I'm sure you could flip through, you know, Sean Brock's book and come out with something similar to this. I don't think that's bad or anything to experiment with different techniques and flavors. I mean, we're in a world now where you can, at a click of a button, order any ingredient from around the world and have it shipped to you in 24 hours. Of course, you got to pay extra shipping or whatever, but I don't think you should limit yourself to any culture of cooking. And I don't think it's disgraceful to combine techniques and philosophies from different ones. So even if you want to get crazy and do the big eye tuna, I mean, we can mix bonito into that, or even garnish with bonito or katsuobushi. That's going to boost that smokiness, give you a really great savory note, or even goes with targa. You know, an ingredient. You know, you can kick in a Japanese or an Italian ingredient in here. Why the hell not? There's nothing to stop you. It's something delicious, and it's surprising. It's different. So it's really up to you and your personality as a cook. Braised beef, cannelloni beans, gem squash, samjang, and beetroot. Man, I could even go southern here, but this is kind of more of a Korean kind of inspired, because you got that samjang, which is like a Korean style peppery puree. Man, that's great. So a Korean braised beef with samjang or gochujang base, a little bit of soy and rice wine, onion or scallion, leek flavors would be great in there. Cannellini beans is pretty neutral with gem squash. It's, you know, pretty neutral but very, very delicious. It goes well with beetroots. Yeah, very homey. You could even do a cannellini bean puree. It's up to you if you want to do like you can even pickle some gem squash, roasted or let's do roasted and glazed gem squash. Beetroot, maybe not. I mean, you don't have to. I think it'd be good. You can even do beetroot chip. Add some earthiness. With all that combined, you got a great dish. Haddock, potato, carrot, poulet, and grains of paradise. Grains of paradise. I like grains of paradise. It's very unique. Probably would go well if you dusted it, or of course made a mix of grains of paradise, maybe some white pepper, porcini powder would be nice. So grains, dusted haddock. I would sear it, why not, or grill it. You can even do a potato puree, really nice and creamy with chives. Roasted carrots and a poulet sauce. Yeah, that sounds good. I would do that. Yeah, like it. Yeah, poulet with So let's do a fennel or fennel seed poulet. Yeah, that sounds tasty. I would do that for sure. Now I'm doing this not to say that I'm solely relying on this, but it guides me in a way where I'm not spending a lot of brain power thinking of ingredients, but rather taking what it's giving me and kind of seeing if it's possible in my head to decide on what technique I would like to apply to make it work. Just to round out the flavors and make it a unique and interesting combination. Lionfish. I put lionfish in the mix because they are destroying the Florida Gulfs. I wanted to kind of bring a little bit of awareness to that and have people realize, like, yeah, you can eat lionfish. They're not very high yield fish, and they're a little difficult to work with. Of course, they got spines that impart some sort of poison. Anyway, if you get stuck with it, you'll end up with a couple days of like soreness and swelling and a bunch of nasty stuff. But if you handle it properly, cut them up. We need to be fishing them and eating them out of the Florida Gulf because they're eating everything down there. And they're kind of wreaking havoc on the ecosystem of the oceans there. So please go and reach out to your Florida fishermen and spear hunters. They need people to buy that lionfish to save the ecosystem. So lionfish with pumpkin, mousseline, and hickory smoke. I would omit pumpkin for this. Yeah, for me that doesn't make sense. Lionfish with creamy leeks though. I would do maybe a lighter grain of some sort or starch. A mousseline sounds really tasty for this though, or even just a hollandaise. Yeah, just a plain hollandaise. And that's the basis of a dish. It's not that I couldn't come up with this originally, but it's something that helped me come up with a baseline for a dish. You could sit there and collaborate with yourself or with a team. But a dish of lionfish, creamy leeks, and hollandaise is a good start for something to expand upon. Now, a lot of this is done primarily to save you time. It saved me time. I would estimate if I sat alone in 30 minutes, with a notebook in front of me, I might come up with 10 dishes. But this kind of doubles the rate, and I can walk away with it, not having expended a lot of brain power, which is really valuable to me. Keeps me concentrating on other things and not overextending my brain. Not that I'm lazy, but I think this is fun, and fun is really important. Big eye tuna with wild rice, chives, bolognese, and vanilla. Bolognese and vanilla, not so much. Bolognese as its own is awesome. We can even omit the big eye tuna and just do a dish of wild rice. There's nothing to say that you have to serve bolognese with pasta. I surely, I would make this at home with whatever leftovers I had. If I had a cupboard of bolognese wild rice, I would not be upset. That'd be fun. Really easy to eat. This is a good family meal for sure. Wild rice with chives. This kind of feels. Yeah, I'm going about this a little lazy, but that's kind of the purpose of this. There's some days where you got to come up with dishes, but you're creatively a little burnt out for the day, or you've been having a rough day, and you need something. I can go back to this and kind of realize, oh, wild rice, chives, and bolognese. Maybe not, but maybe I would do a different thing. Maybe I would add like a roasted pork chop, and do it a pomodoro sauce. And instead of the bolognese, instead of having that ground meat or sausage or whatever you want to use in your bolognese, you can pair that with an Italian, like a grilled Italian sausage. Serve with wild rice, garnished with chives. And there you've got a dish that, bounced off of this. I don't see why not. Calabrese oil. Or even like Nduja. You can work around this. This is an awesome dish. It's totally doable, approachable. I would make a pomodoro sauce pretty thick, or even just do roasted tomatoes. Again, this thing is supposed to inspire you to kind of bounce ideas around, not be literal translations of, oh, this is the dish and I'm copping out for creativity. Because no, this is to kick around ideas. Poached egg with tubers, Worcestershire, and onion. I'm not really feeling like working with this one. But maybe, you take some tubers, spiralize them, make them a nest, fry them, or fry it and make it into a nest, throw a poached egg in there, and that's another inspiration. So why not? Tubers can be any tubers. So first thing comes to mind is taking russets, potato noodles, fried, poached eggs. Poached eggs, caramelized onions, anchovies instead of Worcestershire. Amroot, I'm not really sure actually. Let's look that up again. What we got here? I think it's guava. Yep, guava. And guava is a weird kicker. Maybe there's a guava vinegar out there. Is there? If that's the case, you can do a guava gastrique. Get access to beautiful guavas, throw it in with some vinegar and reduce it down. Add some sugar, it'd be great. Yeah, it's an interesting kicker for sure. Maybe not execute on that. Maybe switch it to something else. But it's possibly doable. This I'm kind of thinking that I thought gastrique because you want something to cut the balance out of the richness of the poached eggs, plus the residual frying oil. But here you've got something soft, you've got something briny and delicious, savory. Poached eggs are of course delicious and rich. You got some crunch factor, and you need acidity to balance the dish out. So that's where I would go with that. Guava gastrique, or I don't know. I want to do tomatoes because I'm thinking ketchup now. Anyway, moving on. Rainbow trout with rice, beet greens, toom. Which I've learned here through this that there's a lot of different varieties and different cultures of garlic sauces, of all which are awesome and great to realize that they're out there. and that the world loves garlic. So don't forget your garlic, y'all. But for this today, I would do a dish of steamed rainbow trout. Let's make this really delicate. Rice. Ooh, what kind of rice? We could do a beet risotto instead of beet greens. I mean, we can chiffonade beet greens. Bitterness into that risotto, kind of fold them in. Be nice. Maybe do a garlic, maybe a roasted garlic or blanched garlic. Blanched garlic and mushroom. Yeah, blanched garlic glazed porcini. So for this, I'm thinking you get really nice, delicate trout with. I mean, I would keep it light on the beet for the risotto, but something earthy with that really delicate fish. The beet greens, of course, add some bitterness to it, but and then I would like, it'd be cool to have these really great, rich bites of these porcini mushrooms that are glazed in kind of softened garlic flavor. It's not a bad way to go. I don't know what Melhev is. Let's look that up. The spice. Aromatic spice made from cherry stones. Interesting. I don't and can't really imagine what that tastes like. But maybe one of y'all will be inspired to go and order such an ingredient. But I can imagine it goes well with a braised beef. We can play around with that cherry too. Why not? But in which case, I don't know. Let's skip this one. Lamb breast with polenta, celeriac, gremolata, and hickory smoke. So smoked and braised lamb breast. I think I did this in the last one. It's delicious if you do it right. Creamy polenta, roasted celeriac, and a gremolata on top. Beautiful. Not exactly classic, but not exactly unoriginal. This is definitely a different way to go. Texturally, it makes sense to me to have rich, of course, hopefully nice and tender lamb breast. That smokiness will cut a little bit through that gaminess that I'm not a huge fan of, but I think the flavor can hold up well to hickory smoke. It could be done. It's up to you what type of smoke you like. Roasted celeriac, you can make that also nice and creamy. I would make sure to balance it with a good amount of acid and a touch of sweetness out of a celery root. That'd be really good. Shark with potato and okra, red pepper puree, and allspice. Sounds really nice and southern to me. Maybe even do like a jerked grilled shark. Have like a Caribbean feel to it, which doesn't go poorly with the okra. I would do roasted red potatoes, red pepper puree, and and pickled okra. I love pickled okra. If you do it right, you can get rid of the sliminess. So this is kind of, to me, like, feels like a Creole kind of southern dish, with the jerked, of course, being more Caribbean, but it's not far off. And I think it could be done. I don't know if y'all have ever tried shark before, but it's really, really great lean fish. I had it when I was a kid. I think it's very, very good. Beef skirt, tubers, fennel, barbecue sauce, and batarga. Beef and batarga is definitely a great way to do a surf and turf. tubers. It leaves you so many, open variety of different things. So I personally like what kind of barbecue would we want to do for that? Yeah, this is pretty open opportunity because barbecue sauce is up to you. So I'll do like a apple barbecue sauce. So I make a barbecue sauce with apple cider, reduce it down real nice. That sweetness, of course, goes well with fennel, sweet potatoes. Glazed fennel. Of course, apple and fennel goes great together. So that seasoning. Apple barbecue, grilled beef skirt, steak, targa. Yeah, that's the basis of something really interesting. Yeah, I would make that. I would eat that. Cool. Shrimp with pumpkin, nettles, avocado sauce, and fried garlic. Yeah, again, some of these combinations are going to end up being really weird, and I am not forgiving for it. I think that's to be expected. Not every dish that even you come up with on your own are going to be great. I don't know who you are, but let's face it, no one's perfect, nor is this machine. But you can kind of skip around here and realize, you can make up a sauce based around shrimp, avocados, and fried garlic. And you have a basis of something to work with, whether you want to do like a I love doing avocado fans where you slice them really nice and thin and kind of layer them out. Looks really, really cool. So you can do like a poached shrimp mousse. What do you call those? Kind of shaped in a quenelle. I would wrap that in a fanned avocado. Garnish with fried garlic. Do a nice nettles. Maybe a salsa verde with nettles. Tomatillo and nettle salsa. Cassava. I'm just thinking like a black, some kind of thing. I like that musty. Of course, it's grape must, but it does have like a distinctly like kind of aroma to it. That's I think is really nice and kind of rounds a lot of different things out. And this, I think, would be one of those things. Not only would this be a pretty dish, garnished for this would be great. Cool. Moving along. Lamb breast, polenta, acorn squash, pico de gallo, and lime. Maybe not so much on the pico de gallo, unless you wanted to take this kind of toward a Latin flavor. Maybe. Yeah, I could see this. A lamb breast taco. Let's do a braised lamb breast taco. Of course, polenta isn't far off from doing, it's corn, Corn works in so many different cultures, especially Latin cultures. So why not accent that tortilla flavor, the corn tortilla with some additional polenta? I don't see why not. We can get real crazy. We can smoke the grain, smoke the polenta before you go and make it. So creamy smoked polenta. I don't see why not. Roasted acorn squash, just lime and pico de gallo. Yeah. I mean, this isn't far off from a barbacoa. You do a barbacoa preparation. So make sure to have banana leaf in that braise or the steaminess or whatever. That would round that out really, really nice. Well, I'm gonna do a couple more and then call it a day. Shark, again, with adzuki beans, kwandong, ketchup, beetroot. Yep, this is another weird one. That's okay. I'm gonna pass. Yellowfin tuna. Man, this is really exciting. So my guy, my programmer, his name's Daniel. You'll have a link to him soon. I'm gonna make another page here for people who contributed to this project that I'm really proud of. I'm really happy with this product. That being the app itself. But now we can know how many people have been on this site and how many dishes have been generated in total. I'm sure we're gonna have some people just messing around here and clicking this 100 times like assholes, but you know, I have no way to filter that out. But face it, the generator's working hard. So I've got a dish here: yellowfin tuna, pinto beans, tomatoes, toum, and caviar. Perhaps not on the pinto beans. You can be really subtle about it with the fish, but I think I don't know. I've never worked with a lot of pinto beans. I had an idea in mind, and someone can bounce this off at me. But to cooking beans, I don't know if they puff. If you cook them, dehydrate them into a glass state, and fry them. Puffed beans. I wonder. I'm gonna Google that real quick. Fascinating. Oh, you can puff beans or puff beans. Wow. Okay, that's fun. The puff machine. Trying new puffed beans. Wow, look at that. Neato burrito, y'all. Cool. Oh. So that leads me to an interesting idea of why not. Let's do a sashimi or crudo of yellowfin tuna. I would have garlic roasted tomatoes, puffed pinto beans, tomatoes. I put that in a really nice kind of light and I almost want to go for tomato again just to make it double redundant, but just like a light broth of tomato water. I would definitely want to do croutons of some sort. Brioche crouton. Of course, the garlic comes from the inspiration of the toum. I would do citrus zest. For this, I think lime zest and caviar. It's a little more abstract, but I think it could be done. You got some texture. You get some really delicate tuna, citrus, maybe orange zest. Orange zest with tomato is kind of, maybe not though. Maybe omit the orange zest. Yeah, that's something to work on. I don't have clients right now or an avenue that would merit this dish, but I love doing crudos. It's very fun, very challenging to make right. Maybe do parsley on here too. Parsley puree or parsley of some sort. Or parsley brush that crouton, for sure. Alright, last one. Let's do one more, for sure. Lamb loin, taro, parsnip, honey mustard, let's get cuttlefish with the red lentils, tatsoi, salsa rojo, and garlic. Oh man, that sounds doable, for sure doable. I would marinate my cuttlefish in salsa rojo, like a red, like a chili pepper puree. So chili, pepper, roasted or grilled cuttlefish. I think it's squid, basically, if you're not familiar with cuttlefish. They're so cute. Red lentils, fresh and wilted tatsoi, or just maybe even just a few tatsoi leaves. I don't know how big you'd want to go with this dish. I probably wouldn't serve that much. It'd be a nice little appetizer, tasting size. Really nice garlic leaf, and imparts a little bit of greeniness and bitterness. It's really nice. Fresh tatsoi, garlic chips. These garlic chips for the cuttlefish, this dish in particular, I would definitely blanch the garlic off a little bit before you go and fry them. I don't want to impart too much of that straight up garlic flavor. Definitely balance it out by blanching a little bit. And again, we have a great dish here. Cool. Let's see how many we came up with, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 dishes. That was pretty damn fast, pretty damn good. And I am ready to move on with my day. These are great ideas. Now, I might spend another session after let's do 5 days of this, and then I'll go back and reassess. I'll select my favorites, and then I'll have a pretty badass menu to work with. You compile your dish ideas in order. You pick the ones you love, you like, the ones that really speak out to you and speak out to who you are as a cook. You select those ones, put them in order. You've got your own tasting menu of your own creation, inspired by, of course, something that's aiding you to come up with these dishes. But there's nothing limiting you from. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk shit to you about you not being creative enough to come up with your own dishes, but what's creativity other than combining ingredients together? The real thing that shows is what you end up putting on the plate, because that's what someone's going to taste and eat. And you're as good as the last dish you put out, I think, is the motto. I forget where that's from, but someone tell me where that's from, please. If anyone's even watching, I don't know. I don't care. I hope y'all use it. I hope it works. I hope y'all like it. It's certainly been a lot of fun for me as a learning process in putting together my first website. And again, I hope it's helpful. If it's not, cool, move on. Go use the Flavor Bible. I think that's a great way to come up with dishes. That's the way I've done in the past. I was inspired to do this. I woke up in the middle of the night and was like, why doesn't this exist? There are other similar things. I'll post a blog post about it and link you to it, but I find that the other ones, where are they? Let's see, I've got notes here. Notes. Anyway, but I find that's really slow and hard to work with. I think there's more value in coming up with a lot of dishes. Don't eat that. Oh man, where'd I go? There it is. I think there's more value in coming up with a lot of dishes and then filtering it down. It's the same with writing anything in general or creating anything in general, or even being an artist. You got to iterate, and of course your first ones are going to suck. You're not going to make any sales or whatever, but eventually you're gonna run out of bad ideas, and some good ones are going to come out. I think that's something I'm trying to learn now as I go and just do, because you only live once. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for trying out Dish Database or Dish Generator. Wow, mixing up my projects. Dishgenerator.com. Thanks.